Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Great.
All right, Nicole, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the second BikeMS City to Shore virtual team captain meeting of the season. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to join us again today. I've see some familiar faces on here, but some of you, I think, are also new to me. So for those I may have not met, I'm the senior director for BikeMS and am based in the Philadelphia office and oversee City to Shore in addition to some other rides in the Northeast. And those of you who are joining us for the first time, who haven't been to one of these before, these meetings are really being provided as a collective opportunity to to learn, to connect with all of our team captains who are our top fundraisers and recruiters for the ride. So these calls are really for you and about you. So please let the staff know, including myself or Rosie, what topics you're looking forward to seeing and hearing throughout the season. And we really look forward to rallying together as a BikeMS community and building excitement for this year's in-person City to Shore ride in September. So before we get started, just want to go, Dana, if we want to go to the next slide, over a few best practices for Microsoft Teams. We did use Microsoft Teams for the last call, but if you're unfamiliar, want to just remind everybody to please stay on mute unless you're talking. We will want to really maximize the chat box, which you can click on in that the little bubble at the top of your screen if you have questions, or when we get to the end of the program, we're going to have some sharing opportunities. Feel free to click on the little hand to raise your hand if you'd like to share or pop up on the screen, utilizing that video camera feature. So, and the mute button is just that little microphone up at the top. So again, this meeting is for you guys too, not just for us to talk at you. So we're looking forward to hearing from you. So feel free to jump in with questions or comments or wins. Next update. So I know some of you were on the call last time, but for those of you who maybe were not, just wanted to take a few minutes to recap what's been going on since March and give a quick refresher on what we discussed on the last call. So a lot has actually happened since March. First of all, next slide, Dana, we did host our very first in-person BikeMS ride in over a year. And I was there live and in person to witness it. It was really great to be back on the road last Saturday with all of our great BikeMS participants, some of which are from City to Shore. We had a couple of City to Shore cyclists out there, in addition to some of our planning team volunteering, driving SAGs, marking the route, helping me with router number pickup. So it was really great energy, and everybody was really great following the COVID safety protocols. And I think it really is going to set the stage for the events coming up, and really got me excited to be in person again for City to Shore this year. So super excited about that. We've got another ride this weekend in Dallas, so a little bit different. This one was a little bit closer to us, and it was a lot of fun. So additionally, since we last met in March, we've added some staff to the team. I know some of you may or may not know Nick and Molly, who you may be familiar with as your staff liaison, have recently sought new opportunities outside of the society. And although we were disappointed to see them go, of course, we are excited to be welcoming 2 new staff to the BikeMS team for City to Shore. Jennifer O'Malley is joining us as a manager, and also Dana Gold is joining us as a specialist. And I know that you will get to know them very, very quickly and very soon, because they will be getting their teams this week to know who they'll be working with. And so then you will be hearing from them shortly as well. So I know everybody's been hearing from Rosie recently, but I think all of us are excited to have the team up and running. So I hope you'll join me in giving them a warm welcome. And Dana and Jen, I don't know if you want to say hi and just maybe share a quick intro about yourself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Jen. As Nicole mentioned, I have recently joined the team last week, as a matter of fact, as a manager for Bike MS. I'm really excited to be here to get to virtually meet everybody. I'm sure you'll be hearing from me soon, many of you. Just a little bit about me. I'm a new Philadelphia newbie, kind of. I've lived here for a couple of years, originally from New York. And my background is based in nonprofit development and event planning. And I'm really excited to learn more about this great event and get to know you all.
Great. And Dana, this is Dana's first day, by the way. Jen started last Monday, right before Coast. And Dana started this morning. So she is very new.
Hi, everyone. Like Nicole said, my name is Dana Gold. I just started today, but I've had a great first day meeting everyone and getting to know the event a little better. I'm really looking forward to getting to know you all better in the coming weeks and months, and then having a great event in September. I am originally from California, but I came here for college and have stayed here in Philadelphia working at nonprofits ever since, though more at the sort of case management and direct service side of things. So really excited to be in a fundraising position now, and just really excited to get my feet wet and start going. So excited to be here.
Thanks, Dana. And Dana was also referred to us from a previous Bike MS staff member that used to work with us a few years ago. So we're excited to have her on the team. And we will also be adding an additional staff at the end of the month, so stay tuned for updates coming on that. And then as we move forward, just a quick recap in what we went over last call. If you missed it, we are able to send out the recording to you, and the slide deck is posted on the website. But just a quick recap of some of the things we went over. The dates and important dates and deadlines for the season, some of that ride weekend experience and safety protocols and evaluation plans and processes that we're putting into place to ensure that we are hosting a safe and successful Bike MS event in September. Specifically calling out the upcoming registration fee increase on May 24th, which is kind of what we're here to talk about more in depth tonight, but also those fundraising weeks that will be coming up in July and August, in addition to that rider number mailing deadline that we're also familiar with. I think that'll be even more important this year than ever, just because we're going to try to get as many packets as possible to limit the need to do that ride morning. And then, like I said, the evaluation process that we're putting in place internally, because as of right now, City to Shore is going to be held as planned as our 2-day ride with all the route options that we historically know and love. But we will, of course, continue to review those safety protocols at 120 days, 90 days, 60 days, and 35 days out from the event. So all of our safety protocols can be found on the Bike MS COVID-19 safety page. So please feel free to take a look, review. I know it's important as team captains that you are familiar with these policies and guidelines to ensure that you're able to answer any of your team members' questions and provide that assurance that we are working towards having a safe in-person event this year. And I guess this is still me. Next slide. So also at the March meeting, one back, sorry, Dana. At the March meeting, we shared with you some of the issues we were having on getting together the distribution plan for our 2020 wearables. In a normal year, we of course would have distributed this large amount of items at the ride, which we weren't able to do last year because we moved to that virtual platform and our offices have been closed and we've had some staffing gaps. And we just wanted to make sure that we were also being obviously mindful of the important dollars that you guys have all raised, and find not only a safe but a cost-efficient way to distribute this and get it into everybody's hands. So, we're ready to announce that we finally have a plan, and we want to invite you to our contactless pickups that we have scheduled for June 5th and June 26th. So, as we evaluated who qualified and who should be receiving materials, we really identified 2 hopefully central locations to the majority of our participants, in Radnor, King of Prussia area, and then probably Philadelphia, South Jersey. We're just working on finalizing those exact locations, so they should be posted on the website sooner than later. But we will be starting at 9 a.m. both days, and probably running till about 2 or so longer if needed. We're going to have different access windows. So we're going to ask everybody to sign up for the location and the access window that works best for them, so that we can ensure that we're keeping traffic flowing and knowing when people are coming and having your materials ready and available for you when you arrive. So looking forward to seeing everybody in person, getting you everybody their well-deserved items, and getting this off of our hands and back into yours. So as team captains, I do want to throw out there that you do have the option, if you wanted to pick up for your team, that is also an option. As a follow-up to this call, and in the next week or so, all of the staff will be reaching out with the sign-up link so that you and your team members can sign up for the window and the location that you desire. And you can pick up for other people. So if you wanted to pick up for family members or team members or your entire team, you can list that out in the sign up, and we will have everything prepackaged and ready for you to grab at the contactless pickup, which will be super quick and easy because we're going to just ask you to drive on through, and we'll throw it in your trunk and say hello and get you guys on your way. So stay tuned for more details and the link on that, which again, we'll be sharing out in our follow-up to this call, putting on the website, and then also reaching out to any of your team members that did qualify as well to let them know of this timeline. So with that being said, I think we're all caught up, and I'm going to turn it over to Rosie to share what is next for City to Shore.
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. So, oh, can you go on mute? Okay, thank you. You can go to the next slide, Dana. So it is officially May. I can barely believe it. So this is going to be a busy month for Bike MS, and it's officially time to kick recruitment into high gear if you haven't already. I'd like to give you all a moment to see these dates on the screen, which will be a great touch point for recruitment for your teams this month. I did see some people called in, so just so you know, we will be emailing it after the call, but May 17th to May 23rd, that's going to be National Bike to Work Week. May 24th, that's going to be the registration fee increase from $21 to $36. And May 31st is World MS Day. And a little bit later in this presentation, we're going to go through how you can use each of those dates to recruit your team members. Next slide, please. All right, so for those of you who joined us last meeting, you might remember that we challenged you all to reach 1,000 participants by this meeting. And I am happy to say with 3 weeks left, you all crushed that goal, which forced us to raise the bar. Thanks to all of your hard work and efforts, we're currently almost at 1,400 registrations, and we've raised over $350,000. In conjunction to all the work you guys have been doing, I just want to let you know that staff and our dedicated City to Shore planning team, I saw the Craigheads listening in and Don, have been assisting in this work by reaching out to 2020 and 2019 top fundraisers on your teams. But, you know, we can't do it without your help. Your personalized touch points and pushes to your team are so much more meaningful. With that said, we're once again asking you for your help. We'd like to hit 2,700 registrations by the May 24th fee increase. We all have a lot of work to do, and we appreciate all of your efforts, but let's currently see which teams are leading the way. Next slide, please. All right, So the tables have turned a little bit since last meeting. Team Ox, you are not far, but UPenn has officially taken the lead. We can't let them get ahead of us. I also just want to note that Flying Shamrocks, I see you guys in your third spot. They actually haven't budged their friends and family team, so keep up the great work, guys. You are doing a fantastic job. There's a few other teams that have also took the ranks this month, so whatever you're doing, continue on. But if you'd like to get to this top 10 spot, we're going to go into some tips and tricks to get you there. Next, please. All right, so if you haven't done so already, we're going to ask that you customize your team page for when your teammates visit. Note that you can now add more photos on your page this year. So I encourage you to share your photos of the team training, from your past City Ashore events, any of your favorite cycling photos to make it a little bit more fun. An important part of customizing your page really is sharing why you ride. So supporters and potential members understand what Bike MS truly means to you. In addition, you now have the ability to make your team easier than ever to find and join by customizing your team link. You can do this by going to your team page, clicking the settings tab, and select page link pictured, and this is all pictured on this side. Just make sure you're remembering to include this link in all of your team communications, share it on your social pages, add it to your email signature, anywhere you can input it. We want your team to know where they can find you. If you do have trouble finding how to customize your link, don't hesitate to reach out to any of the staff members, myself, Dana, or Jen. We're more than happy to help you with that. Next, please. All right. So your team members are, your team members and your supporters, we've been reaching out to them, but who they really want to hear from is you. So in preparation for the fee increase on May 24th, staff will be providing you with rosters. We ask you to utilize them to reach out to all of your veteran cyclists. We ask that you reach out to your veteran cyclists first, but please don't forget about any of your rookie or potential new members because they want to hear from you too. I'm sure that everyone's really antsy to have us back on the road. Just to get you thinking, a new member could be a friend, family member, coworker, or just someone you'd like to engage in the future. I know a lot of corporate teams I work with utilize their Bike MS team to network with clients or partnering organizations. Bill here, I know that you're a partner with CRM Science, and that's kind of what brought you on board to the ride. So it's a great tool. So just make sure you're thinking outside the box and you're thinking about all of your networks when you're doing your recruiting work. In addition, I do just want to bring to light that since the pandemic has happened, bike sales for bike shops have soared. So there are tons of new people who would like to join us on the road. But at the same time, I do want to bring to light that for those who aren't ready, I encourage you to just approach that with understanding. We do have other options if people don't feel ready to get back on the road with us. That's perfectly fine. And we'll jump into that a little bit later. Next slide, please. All right, so in addition to promoting the May fee increase, we asked you to maximize Bike to Work Week to make the ask and to promote your team. National Bike to Work Week is going to be taking place on Wednesday, May 17th to Sunday, May 23rd. That's going to lead directly into the May 24th registration fee increase, which is extremely convenient. So that's the perfect opportunity to engage and recruit back your team. We ask you to rally and invite your team early in the week for a virtual team meetup, happy hour, or kickoff, just to get everyone excited. If you want to speak with your Bike MS staff contact, we're happy to join you, answer any questions that your team members might have, and help you build some excitement around this. Some more ideas that you can consider is hosting socially distant training rides after work this week. That could be a lot of fun. In the past, I did have some corporate teams that invited employees to ride their bike to work. They set up hydration stations, offered some fun incentives for employees to join, and rallied around the mission of a world free of MS. So if you can and you are a corporate team, consider talking to whoever would be in charge of that to see if you can set up something fun at your workplace that week. In addition, I do just want to point out that downloading the new Bike MS app is perfect for tracking miles this week and creating some friendly competition, which I know as cyclists, we naturally all love some friendly competition. So be sure to keep track of team standings, ask your team members to go one step further and recruit a team member that week. All right, so speaking of the app, I'm going to ask Jen to already pop up in screen, but can you introduce some of the next challenges and tell us a little bit more about that app?
Sure. Thank you, Rosie, and hello again, everybody. As Rosie mentioned, you have been challenged again. We have a goal to get 25% of all of our cyclists transition to the new Bike MS app by May 31st. And you can help us hit that goal by downloading the app yourself and sharing it with your team. There's a lot of things you can do on the app right from the palm of your own hand. It's super convenient. You can recruit back team members, thank donors, build camaraderie, and enter to win awesome prizes with your fellow Bike MS City to Shore cyclists by participating in cycling challenges leading up to Ride Weekend. Something that I think is just really cool about the app too is the mobile check deposit feature. It makes it so quick and convenient to capture those check donations right on the spot. So that's a really great feature to take advantage of. And definitely take advantage of our new cycling challenges. This is a brand new feature for cyclists riding both virtually and in person. You can go on to the next slide. So these challenges that I'm talking about are built to rally and motivate you and your team for the event. The Bike MS cycling challenges are a 4-week challenge series that are available when you download the Bike MS app. Each week, starting about 5 weeks out from event weekend, there'll be a challenge issued by an iRide with MS rider. And they'll be challenging each participant to log their miles on the app, take a photo at a designated community location, and fundraise. Riders who are participating in these challenges can earn cool badges, Bike MS swag, and be entered to win a grand prize courtesy of Garmin. Although these challenges are for those participating in person and virtually, it's really a great way to engage virtual members of your team and just really make them still feel like they are a part of the event and a part of the team. To the next slide. We also wanted to remind you that your virtual participants have the option to participate using Zwift and Strava. For those who are not aware, although many people probably are familiar with these tools, Zwift is for cyclists who enjoy riding inside, and it's a way to gamify your ride. Strava is a GPS activity tool that's used more frequently outside to track your miles. I know this is a common one. I use it for a variety of activities, whether walking, running, biking. It's super easy and fun to use, but both are great tools to train and to continue to build our Bike MS community because you can connect with others through the app. Currently, 5,000 Bike MS cyclists are using Strava. Next slide. So in conjunction with the virtual option, there are a few more options to recruit new audiences this year. Next up. For instance, no bike, no problem anymore. Bike MS City to Shore will once again be partnering with Unlimited Biking so that those who might not own a bike can still participate, because of course we want the event to be as accessible to anyone who wants to participate as possible. So your team can secure bike rentals on the Unlimited Biking Bike MS City to Shore page, and bikes can be picked up at any of our start locations and then returned at the Ocean City finish line. So you don't have to haul the bike around. It's really convenient to pick up and drop off your rental. So as we all know, cycling can be expensive, but with Unlimited Biking, your teammates can now rent a bike and join you on the road ride weekend. This year, Unlimited Biking has sweetened the deal a little bit too, and will now be offering bulk rentals for 10 plus bikes. Next. So For those that don't ride at all, but still want to make an impact and get involved and contribute to your team and the fight against MS, remember that the success of the event as a whole really depends on the hard work and support of volunteers. So volunteering is always an option. The best part of that is anyone can volunteer, whether it's friends, families, employees. Volunteers can also be part of your team rosters and help your team fundraise. Many corporations, as many of you probably know, do acknowledge and reward employees for volunteering. So don't forget to ask your organization if they offer volunteer grant programs. And so we shared a lot of information with you so far, but what we are really interested in is hearing from you. So Rosie, if you'd like to come back, can you introduce our final milestone in May?
Of course. Thanks, Jen. And if you want to go to the next slide, Dina. So believe it or not, we've now made it in the presentation to the end of May and that final date that I mentioned in the beginning. And although this date is after the May 24th registration fee increase, it's still a very impactful day to spread awareness, recruit your team. And that day is World MS Day on May 31st. On this day, we encourage you all to continue these important conversations with teammates and supporters to bring awareness to the mission of A World Free MS. A few ideas I did want to include. You can ask your teammates to wear orange or their Bike MS gear on this day. If you use Teams like we do, consider a fun background like me, Jen, and the other staff have up. Share why you ride via Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, any social channels, all social channels. Make sure you're sharing why you ride and why this event is important to you. Make sure you're including your favorite photos on social media with your supporters. It might even be fun if you have a competition between team members who took the best photo in City to Shore history while on your team. Again, I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but I love some friendly competition. And I just want to let you know, as leaders in this movement, you are essential to achieving these impacts and reaching our goals. City of Shore is, whether you can believe it or not, it's the second largest fundraiser for MS research in the world. And because of you, we've driven billions of dollars in federal research funding. And in 2020 alone, the FDA approved 4 medications for relapsing MS. At this time, if anyone would like to, I saw we have quite a few people on this call, but I'd like to invite some folks to come up and share with us why you ride. So does anyone want to come up and share why you ride Bike MS? No? I saw the Craig heads on here. Craig heads.
I was just going to call them out too, Rosie.
If you're out there. Or Larry Oxman, I see you as well. Welcome to class.
I'm here. This is Jeff Craighead.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for being a good sport. A voluntold sport.
Yes. Well, in 1993, my wife was diagnosed with MS. And like a lot of people who are related to people with an MS diagnosis, I felt a little helpless and didn't know what I should do. But some of my friends were familiar with Bike MS and they said, you got to ride. So with about 2 months of training, I did my first ride in 1993. And then in 1994, I formed the Roxborough Riders. And we've been going strong ever since. And I just ride to keep raising money for research. When my wife was diagnosed in July of 1993, the first drug was approved the same week she was diagnosed. And now, what are we up to? About 19 drugs, I think, or something. And she's been on one of the medications for most of the time since then. I guess it was about 3 or 4 years after her diagnosis that she got on her first medication. And she's still going strong. And she has some symptoms. She has secondary progressive, but for the most part, most days you can't tell that she has MS, and she's just got a great spirit and keeps moving forward. But we're thankful for the MS Society for the research dollars and the client support that we get from the MS Society. And I joined the planning team a few years after I started riding, just to help some more.
Thanks, Jeff. We, of course, as I always tell you, appreciate you both. One cool thing about, the Roxborough Riders and the Craigheads is they did win the Mission jersey nationally last year in 2020. And Jeff, just because I think, well, at least at our ride, this was the first jersey I've seen on. Can you just share what the back of your jersey looks like?
Um,
Well, the meaning behind it.
yeah. Well, we started putting the names of people that were associated with our riders, either related to or friends of our riders. We put the names of the people with MS on the back of our jersey. So we're up to 54 names, I think, right now. So I think I have a couple more names in the queue for the next time we update our jersey to add there. But that just keeps us focused on why we ride. We just have to look at the back of our team jersey to know why we ride year after year. It's for those 54 people that we know, but for everybody else in the country and the world who have MS.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you always. I do see a hand raised. Don, do you want to come up and share with us?
I would like to do that. Wait,
All right.
let me get my microphone off here.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yep, you have the floor.
Okay. How you doing, everybody? So I ride for myself and all the others who can't ride. In 2008, I was diagnosed with relapsing remitting MS and had no clue what it was all about. Over the years, I've done several MS walks. I've done a walk every year since 2009. And a coworker suggested, hey, let's do a bike ride. Fine. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Needless to say, I've done a ride every year since 2012. I was determined to do the ride in 2015, although I was in the hospital getting ready for a stem cell transplant. I had a clot in my foot and couldn't tie my shoe up. I was determined. If you'd have asked me, I was still doing that ride. That was the year the ride got canceled. That was, I guess, God's way of telling me, sit your butt down and just deal with this. So I've met a lot of nice people through the MS Society, through the ride, and it's just been a wonderful experience.
Thanks,
And hopefully,
Don.
my team will grow, even more. I started out with people, and now I have about 15.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Don. We appreciate you as well. If anyone does want any additional resources, or, if you want some information to share on World MS Day or ever, don't hesitate to reach out to any of your staff contacts. And you can move to the next slide, Dana, because I don't see anyone else. All right. I'm going to pick on you guys again. Please don't make me. So lastly, as I noted in the email invites to everyone and on the website, we really did invite you here. We'd like to have a constructive conversation about what you're hearing from your team members, what are the challenges in 2021? You know, I know 2021 isn't quite like 2020. It's certainly not like 2019. It's a whole other beast. We are back in person. I'm sure that, you know, the conversations have been going in all different directions. So we want to hear about, one, what are the challenges so as a group we can work through them? But two, you know, what are the successes? I'm going to look at our top 10 teams. I know some of you are on there, and anyone else who would like to share, you know, what has been going well in your conversations. So would anyone be brave enough to share some with us?
Yeah, I'm curious, Rosie, like, just, you know, what's the general consensus from team members? Because I was at Coast last weekend and everybody seemed super excited to be there, but I know not everybody necessarily has the same sentiments. But, you know, for the general feedback that you're receiving as you're out there recruiting and promoting your team and your ride, how's that going?
It looks like Don might be raising your hand again. Did you want to come up, Don?
Well, I would just want to ask, like, what is, you know, based on, you know, all the other rides I've been through, you know, this year's obviously going to be different, but what is the finish line going to look like? Like, how much different is that going to be?
So Don, we have placed obviously in place right now, obviously safety rules and parameters, venue access windows for our start line to help provide social distancing. At this point, requiring masks as well, but we are also trying to work towards providing the same experience that you're used to at City to Shore, including the finish line. We're still several months out, and so even in a normal year, we wouldn't necessarily have all of that finalized and defined just yet, but we really are working towards attempting to provide the same experience that you guys are used to, and just thinking through how we need to do that in the safest way possible. So more to come on that as of right now. I think we could probably hope to have a semi-typical finish line in Ocean City.
And
I just want to know, can I get my prime rib at the VIP dinner? That's all.
Yes. So far, so good on that
one. And then for those who weren't with us last meeting, because I do see some new faces on this meeting, I just want to reiterate that it's going to continuously be evolving as the world around us does and as this vaccine rolls out. As Nicole said earlier, 120 days, 90 days, 60 days, and 30 days out, we will continue to reassess these processes. Our number one goal is to make sure that all of our cyclists, volunteers, and staff are safe. So you can always check our Bike MS safety and COVID page, but closer to the event, and you can always check in here where we're happy to answer questions. But closer to the event, we will have more City to Shore specific updates coming out once we can start to finalize and get closer. So just make sure you're watching for all those updates.
And that's why, additionally, thank you, Rosie, that was good, which is another reason we wanted to kind of schedule these calls throughout the season in conjunction with those calls. So if we did have changes or updates or new policies or procedures or parameters that we were going to be implementing to support hosting I think City to Shore, we always are working towards having a safe event. That's not a new theme that you've heard from us as we want to get everybody to the finish line and back very safely. But we have scheduled these team captain calls in conjunction with those timelines, so we can continue to keep you updated and informed if anything and it changes, or if we have additional information on what the safety protocols are going to look like. For our May rides, obviously we had venue access windows. We had a lot of hand sanitizer. I think I moved hand sanitizer multiple times throughout the day, back onto the truck and off the truck. And obviously everybody was wearing masks, socially distancing at the start and finish line. So, we're still obviously looking forward to putting those basic parameters in place that I think we're all accustomed to in our daily lives, even at the grocery store. So.
Absolutely. Does anyone else, would they like to share? Oh, sorry. check in the chat. Does anyone else want to share some challenges they're having, some success stories? Again, I hate to pick on people, but I did see our second largest team right now and top friends and family team on. So if anyone would be so kind to share, it would be appreciated.
You're up, Larry.
How's everybody doing?
Hi, Larry.
Life is good. We've started our training for this year. We have 61 riders. We have almost half of them have already reached their minimum fundraising. So
Saw that.
we're working on it. I mean, our numbers are down from last year, and not from lack of trying, but hopefully we'll get there. And
Larry, how have you gotten to this number of 60, 61, 62 already? What are some
I'm
tactics
relentless.
you've been using? That too.
you stay on people and bug them and bug them and bug them. I know some of them probably get sick of it and they sign up just so I leave them alone.
Well, I
Do
do
what
know
works.
that historically too, this fee increase that we have coming up is usually an extra little extra nudge that you can give some of those team members too if they're procrastinating.
Trust me, I'm trying.
Larry, I know that being our largest friends and family team, you're always out on the trails, you're always hosting training rides, you have to be having conversations. Would you say that, and it might not have, but would you say that the conversation has changed in 2021?
Not really. I don't
Well,
think so. I mean, our numbers of people coming out are lower than normal on our training rides. We get 12 to 15 people on the weekends, or this time last year would have been, well, last year, not last year, but the year before, we'd probably have 25 people coming out for our weekend training rides. And it always builds getting closer to September, but I'm hoping as the warmer weather's here, our numbers will increase. I mean, when we do ride, everyone brings a mask. They're not wearing them when we're riding, but if we stop for any rest stops or gathering, or their masks come out. So we're doing what we can.
well, again, I know I keep saying this, but I appreciate you as well, and all of our team captains who are here. So thank you, Larry.
My pleasure.
If you want to go to the next slide, Dana, I feel like that was a very specific Q&A, but does anyone here have any questions at all while you have us and can ask? And you can always contact staff after, but, any questions about the event, leading up to the event, or recruitment? If we have anything to chat.
Well, I guess we did a good job then.
Okay.
Anybody have just anything to add? I know we've got a lot of good team captains on here. It sounds like everybody's up and running with a good start, and which is, I feel positive. If there's no real big concerns sticking out that we want to try to collectively solve for, but also would love to hear some of those wins that you guys are having, or any of your goals for the season. All right.
All right. Well, if any questions do come up, you can always reach out to your staff contacts. Like I said, we're here to answer. So next slide and final slide, please. Well, I appreciate, again, I'm sorry. Sorry, that's the most used word, but it's true. Really appreciate everyone for coming out today. We will be hosting another call in July, just so you know. That's going to be pretty much right after the 120-day mark. So there might be some additional ride updates. We'll be really moving then. We also would like to prepare you for the fundraising week #1, which is taking place in July, and then the next registration fee increase in August. You can find all these pre-ride events on the website. It's located under ride details, and then there's a tab that says pre-ride events. And we'll hang on. Staff will hang on for a couple more minutes, but thanks everyone for coming out. Oh, looks like we may have.
Larry raised his hand.
Oh, Larry, go ahead.
I did. One question. With the governors of both New Jersey and Pennsylvania lifting the restrictions, not the mask restrictions, but the gathering restrictions. Is there any plans for a Rider Expo this year?
So this year, the Rider Expo will be virtual, but it's not technically because of any restrictions going on outside of the society. With the hit we took in 2020, it's just not in our budget. And as we're onboarding new staff, as you're all seeing, we just unfortunately don't have the resources to put on a secondary event in conjunction with City to Shore main event. We will be hosting something virtual. We're trying to locate raffles and we'll make it as fun as possible. We want to make sure everyone gets the information they need, but it will be virtual for 2021.
Yeah. Larry, as we were kind of sort of thinking about what we can work towards this year, hosting an in-person ride was the top priority. So just having to better understand what we will continue to do virtually, including these team captain meetings, and what we will be working towards to ensure that we're able to get on the road safely in September.
However, what I do want to stress is the August 2nd early money turn-in date. That's going to be more important than ever now. If you get your $300 in by August 2nd, so make sure you tell your teammates. We will be able to mail out your rider packets on time. That's going to be super crucial for both us and you as we, again, try to decrease gathering as much as possible. Everyone hates lines anyway, so that August 2nd date is something you definitely want to mark on your calendar so we can get those out in the mail and safely in your hands before ride morning. And I know some of you show up at 4 a.m., so wouldn't it be nice to have that rider number before the sun rises? So.
Yeah, I know it's much more convenient for everybody too, you and your team members included, when you're able to come with everything pinned on and ready to go ride morning. Plus, like Rosie said, it's a little bit of a time saver. So I agree, Rose. Anything we can do to try to get as many people as possible to that 300 minimum by the August 2nd date. Is it August 2nd?
No, I'm sorry. That's because the screen says August 2nd. That date is going to be, give me 1 second.
August 22nd is what it is.
Yes. Apologies. Does anyone else have any questions for us?
So I have a quick question, which you totally may have answered before. I've been in and out of off of the call since it began, but and if you did, please, I'll get it offline or from the recording. But I've had a number of people ask me on my team. So with just the sheer COVID-iness of the world right now, how is it? They're like curious. So is there going to be a starting line? Do I even go to the starting line? Why in the world would I want to go to the starting line? And in the video, they have all those like same groups in public questions we have about anything else.
Yeah.
Which again, you may have answered and I totally missed. And if so, I apologize.
No, that's a good question. Nicole, do you want to take that one?
Yeah. So Mike, great question. And I know because of City to Shore size, that seems to be probably a larger question in conjunction with the size of our ride. Yeah, so I mean, I think everybody's aware, right? We do have 3 different start lines. So although the majority do start from Patco Saturday morning, we do have additional start lines that help spread people out. What we have always traditionally done, right, is obviously release cyclists and waves. That is common for City to Shore because we cannot mass start everybody and release everybody together. What we have been doing for the rides that are currently taking place is putting a little bit more structure around those waves and providing venue access windows, in which provides like a 30-minute time frame for cyclists to come. There's a health screening process that cyclists are completing ahead of time. So they come, they show they're clear on the health screening, they access the start line during their access venue window, and they get on that road within that 30-minute time frame, which is why, again, Rosie was saying about the rider mailing. If we can get more rider numbers mailed out, the less gathering we need to have at the start line, the faster you guys can get on the road. So not that that is a final plan, because we're still working through that and what that will look like. But for the rides that we have going on currently, we are utilizing those venue access windows and the health screenings to provide some structure on how many people we are having together at one period of time. And again, City to Shore kind of already does that organically because we do release everybody in waves, but we may just have a little bit more structure and getting people in through the start line a little bit more pre-prescribed. But again, that's why we're having these calls. So as we finalize these plans and these details and any potential changes that we may have, we'll be able to share that with you right away. So we can work together to help you and your team plan on what that's going to look like. But yes, we do have quite a bit of people at the start. We are going to continue to have 3 starts, and we will continue to try to space cyclists out as we always do, as we're releasing them and having them enter the finish line. I mean, typically, we do have that number of cyclists coming over about a 2-hour period, right?
Yes. So either way, but if you're the person does not want to be within 6 feet of another cyclist, this ain't for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I wouldn't necessarily say that because, again, if we do have more pre-prescribed waves, if you will, these venue access windows, there'll be a certain amount per venue, per window. And we will still obviously have a very large parking lot at Patco, and we'll still have the various corrals, and or, if the 75-mile start feels intimidating, the 50 and 25-mile start looks very different. So that could also be an option as well. There's usually less cyclists that ride those routes.
Yeah.
Okay. Being the 75-mile start for 6 years and working at it, I feel like this is just going to add some additional organization and it might even decrease some frustrations for people who show up really early and get stuck waiting a very long time. At least you'll have a time you'll be released at.
Yeah. And again, we've had 1 in-person ride, so we're going to also learn as we go, right? But with the access windows, it worked really well, actually, because we can get you parked and ready at Patco in the morning, and you can stay in your car, right, until it's your release time. We let you in, and you get on the road. So we are trying to space people out as much as possible to create that social distancing. And again, for this ride already, we all know the route, right? We do have to space you out so that you're not all on top of each other across the roadway. So we try to do that as best as possible already. Mike, I don't know, I don't know that we'll necessarily see the total registration numbers we will this year. We're really going for that 4,500. In the past, obviously those numbers have been significantly higher. So that may feel a little bit different as well than when we had 8,600 cyclists registered.
Yeah. Okay.
Good question. Thanks, Mike. Let me make sure I'm not missing someone's hand raised. Does anyone else have any questions?
Who's excited to hit 2,700?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you all again for coming out. If something comes up, you can always follow up with, your staff contact. We will be following up with you. I know that, Dana and Jen are friendly new faces, so they'll be reaching out and finding you, and you'll know who they are. And thanks everyone, and let's hopefully get to that end goal of $3.5 million by September.
I think we will. With this group, we will. All right. Well, thanks so much, guys. It was great seeing a lot of you.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Bye, Mark.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good to meet you all. Talk soon.
Talk soon.